They'll never tell you this, but there is one feeling every woman craves more than love, more than gifts, more than attention. And the second you understand how to give it to her, everything changes because it flips a switch in her brain that makes her trust you, want you, need you. And most men will never figure it out. That's why I need you to listen closely, because if you miss this, you'll keep repeating the same cycle, chasing her, confusing her, losing her. And here's the truth that nobody's going to say out loud. Most men are so busy trying to impress a woman that they forget the one thing that actually gets through to her soul. It's not confidence. It's not success. It's not being alpha. It's emotional safety, but not the weak people-pleasing kind. I'm talking about the kind that makes her body exhale, that makes her guard drop, that makes her look at you like you're the first person who ever really saw her. Not the highlight reel, not the mask, but the mess underneath. Because here's what you need to understand. She's not testing your money or your muscles or your jokes. She's testing your nervous system. She's watching how you respond when she gets emotional, when she spirals, when she's scared or guarded or cold. Can you stay calm? Can you stay grounded? Can you still make her feel safe in the storm? Or do you collapse into ego defensiveness? Retreat. That's the battlefield. That's where 99% of men lose the war. See, women don't fall in love when things are easy. They fall in love when they feel seen in the hard parts. She doesn't need you to fix her. She needs to know you won't flinch when the mask slips and the trauma spills out. And you want to know the craziest part? Most women don't even realize this is what they need, but their bodies know, their gut knows. That's why she pulls away even when you're doing everything right, because something in her doesn't feel held. And this is where it gets deep. Because the only way to give her this feeling is if you've done the work. You don't give safety by pretending to be a rock. You give it by becoming one. That means confronting your own chaos, your own emotional mess, your own patterns. You don't calm her storm by escaping yours. You do it by walking into it, owning it, mastering it. You become the man who doesn't need to dominate or fix or control, but who leads from grounded presence. That's the key. And when you get this, when you stop performing and start embodying, women feel it immediately. They sense it. It's primal. It's unconscious. It bypasses logic. They don't fall for your words. They fall for the feeling you create inside them. Most men completely miss this, and it's why they keep getting blindsided when a woman suddenly pulls away or says, I just don't feel it anymore. You think it's because you weren't good looking enough, rich enough, or cool enough, but it's not that. What she's aching for, what she'll never say out loud, is the feeling of emotional safety. That's the drug. That's the addiction. That's the one thing that makes her melt. Not the grand gestures, not the clever texts, not the flowers or vacations or how often you show up. It's the invisible energy you carry that tells her you're safe here, all of you, even the parts you hide. See, love without safety feels like a trap. It becomes performance. She'll smile, she'll kiss you, she'll say the right things, but deep down, her body is on edge because her nervous system doesn't trust you yet. Not because you're a bad man, but because you haven't shown her you can handle her truth. And don't confuse this with being nice. Niceness is easy. It's surface. It's approval seeking. Emotional safety is deeper. It's when she's spiraling and you stay calm. It's when she shows you her anger, her grief, her trauma, and you don't shrink or run or try to fix it. You hold it. You hold her. And in that moment, something ancient wakes up in her, a knowing, a primal memory that says, this man isn't just another option. He's safe. And safe doesn't mean boring. Safe means she can unfold. She can be soft. She can stop pretending. She can give you access to the most sacred parts of who she is. That's the power you hold. And when you give her that, not in words, but in energy, in presence, She will never forget you because it's so rare. Because most men never figure it out. And because the moment she feels that safety, you become her peace in a world that keeps demanding she be strong. Emotional safety doesn't mean you turn into her therapist or her savior. It means you stop flinching when she's fully human. It means you don't try to fix her tears or talk her out of her pain because you feel uncomfortable. It means you don't make her emotions about you. That's what most men get wrong. She's not looking for a solution. She's scanning for stability. Can you be the one who doesn't crumble when she breaks? Can you be the one who doesn't shame her for being angry, scared, messy, loud? Because when you respond with defensiveness or worse, silence, she doesn't feel safe. She feels alone. Again, just like she did with the last guy, just like she did in the moments that broke her before you ever showed up. That's why she tests you. That's why she pushes, not to manipulate you, but to feel you, to see if you're real, to see if the ground beneath her will still be there when the storm hits. Most men think they need to overpower a woman's emotions to stay in control, but real power isn't about dominance. It's about presence, stillness, being so deeply anchored in who you are that nothing she brings up can shake you out of it. When she's spiraling and you stay calm, not cold, but calm, grounded, open, you create a space for her to regulate through your nervous system. That's biology. That's how we're wired. She's not looking for you to always agree with her or always understand her, but she is watching how you hold her when she's most vulnerable. That's the difference between a man she dates and a man she trusts. And here's the twist. When she feels safe to unravel, she becomes everything you've ever wanted. Softer, more feminine, radiant, magnetic. But she can only go there if you give her this signal that says, this storm won't scare me away. When she sees that you can stand in her fire and not burn, she knows she's finally found something rare. A man who doesn't just want her when she's pretty, but when she's real. You can't fake this. You can't script your way into her soul because she doesn't fall for the lines, the plans, or the image you're trying to project. She falls for the feeling you create inside her without even saying a word. That's the part most men never figure out. They spend all their energy crafting the perfect message, rehearsing what to say, doing all the right things, thinking logic and effort will win her heart. But she isn't listening to your words. She's reading your presence. She's scanning you like radar, picking up on the tension in your voice, the flicker of insecurity behind your eyes, the tightness in your body. And not because she's judging you, but because her body is wired to detect safety, not perfection. It's primal, instinctual. She's asking one silent question the entire time she's around you. Can I let go around this man? And if her body says no, even if her mind is impressed, she will never fully open. She'll stay guarded. She'll question things. She'll feel off, even if she doesn't know why. That's why your inner state is everything. You can't fake groundedness. You have to become it. When a woman feels like you're anchored, calm, and not trying to manipulate her reaction, she relaxes, her walls lower, her femininity expands. Not because you did anything flashy, but because your presence felt true. That's when she trusts you. That's when she starts showing you the parts of her no one else gets to see. And here's the kicker. When you give her this feeling, she won't even be able to explain why she's drawn to you. It'll feel chemical, magnetic, unshakable. Because what she feels is a man who isn't performing for approval, but a man who is safe to surrender to. And that changes everything. You can't give her emotional safety if you haven't faced your own emotional chaos. That's the part nobody wants to hear because it forces you to stop blaming her reactions and start confronting your own. Do you think you can skip the work, slap on some fake confidence, memorize a few high-value phrases, and she won't notice? But your unresolved patterns bleed through everything. If you crumble when she cries, if you shut down when she's upset, if her intensity makes you feel like you're drowning, it's not her. It's the unhealed parts of you. And no, it's not about being perfect. It's about having the courage to sit with your own darkness long enough that you're no longer afraid of hers. When you avoid your own vulnerability, you can't hold hers. You'll try to silence her, fix her, or run from her because her emotions will trigger the ones you haven't faced. That's why the work starts before the relationship. That's why being a safe man isn't about how you treat her. It's about how you've treated yourself. Have you looked at the father wound you buried, the guilt you drink away, the shame you turned into ego? Because if you haven't, it will come out, not through words, but through the way you breathe when she gets close, through the way you flinch when she says something real, through the way you secretly fear she'll leave if she ever sees who you really are. But here's the truth. She wants to see you. She wants to feel all of you. And the moment you stop hiding, stop posturing, stop needing to be the unbreakable man and start being the honest one, she'll feel it. She'll trust it. And she'll go deeper with you than she ever has with anyone else. Because now, finally, you're not just a man she wants. You're a man she can lean on. Real masculine strength isn't about being untouchable. It's about being so rooted in who you are that you can hold space for her chaos without needing to fix, control, or run. That kind of strength doesn't make you louder. It makes you still. It makes you steady. It makes you the one constant in a world that's always asking her to shrink, to perform, to hold everything together. You become the one place she can finally fall apart. And that's not weakness. That's sacred. When she's in the fire, she doesn't need you to extinguish it. She needs to know you won't flinch. She needs to know your love doesn't disappear when she's angry, anxious, or overwhelmed. And that kind of presence only comes when you've made peace with your own fire. When you no longer fear emotions, when you no longer measure your worth by how much you control. That's when she starts to feel the difference. She realizes she doesn't have to dilute herself just to keep you comfortable. She doesn't have to edit her truth just to avoid pushing you away. And when a woman feels that level of freedom with a man, she doesn't just love him, she trusts him with her soul. She becomes softer, more alive, more powerful in her femininity, not because you demanded it, because you gave her the space to return to herself. And that space is what she's been starving for. Not a man who commands her, but a man who can contain her, not by limiting her, but by holding her with depth and presence. That's what makes you unforgettable. That's what makes her look at you like you're the first man who ever really got it. Not because you were perfect, but because you were real and strong enough to stand still while she became everything she was meant to be. So here's the truth that most men will never hear, and even fewer will ever live. You don't win her by being the most impressive man in the room. You win her by being the most present. The one who stops performing and starts embodying. The one who doesn't collapse when things get intense. The one who's done the inner work so deeply that her storm doesn't rattle him. It reminds him of his purpose. And if you've been wondering why women slip away when you're trying so hard, why things feel disconnected even when they look perfect on the outside, this is your answer. It's not about fixing her. It's not about being the loudest, richest, strongest man in the room. It's about becoming the one man who makes her feel emotionally safe enough to stop pretending. That's the man she can build with. That's the man she can trust. That's the man she will fight for. But here's the challenge. This isn't something you just hear once and forget. This is a call to become. It's time to stop outsourcing your power to other people's approval and start reclaiming the parts of yourself you've buried. Get real with yourself. Sit in the discomfort. Learn to stay present when it's hard, when it's messy, when the part of you that wants to run is screaming in your chest. Because every time you choose presence over ego, truth over image, depth over performance, you're becoming the man she's been silently praying for, not just for her, but for you. Because emotional safety isn't just something you give, it's something you live. And when you live it, you don't chase love, you attract it. You don't fear losing her, you earn her. So if this hits something inside you, don't let it just be a powerful idea. Let it be the moment you changed. Go do the work, look inward, build the foundation. Because the second you become the safest place in the world for yourself, you automatically become it for her. That's where everything begins. That's the man she remembers. That's the man who leads.